Hello geometry students, and welcome back to another video lesson where today we will explore finding the volume of a cylinder. Volume of a cylinder. In order to help us, we really need to remember what are the formulas for circumference of a circle and area of a circle. Well, circumference had two formulas. We could do pi times the diameter of the circle, or we could say that circumference was equal to 2 times pi times the radius of the circle. And occasionally we're going to need that in this section to help us figure out either the radius or the area of a circle. We need to remember that area of a circle comes from pi r squared. Pi r squared. And we'll use those, again, to help us find volume of a cylinder. Now, a cylinder is a very specific example of a prism because it has two circular bases. All right, still a prism because it's got the same top and bottom, two bases, and its volume will still have the same formula. Capital B times H, except that we know what the exact formula for the capital B is. We know that this area of the base, letter B, is pi r squared. We know it's always going to be a circle. And then H is still the distance between your two bases. So you may occasionally see volume for a cylinder written as pi times r squared times H, because we know that that capital B, the area of the base, has to be pi r squared. Let's put this into practice. Find the exact volume of the cylinder below. Exact, meaning we need to leave pi in our answer. Why don't you pause here and try to find this one. Volume equals capital B times H. I know the B, this capital B in this one, area of the base, has to be pi times r squared, or pi times 3 squared, which is 9 pi. We leave that pi there because of the exact. So capital B is 9 pi times the height between the two bases. This one, they give it to us on the inside. Middle to middle is 7. If we multiply those, our volume will equal, we can multiply the 9 by the 7 to say 63 pi units cubed. We'll just go U cubed for units cubed. 63 pi cubic units. All right, so it's really just practicing finding the area of a circle. Let's try the second one. Find the volume of the cylinder below to the nearest hundredth. To the nearest hundredth. Now we've actually got to figure it out. We're going to have to use Desmos a little bit. Capital B times H. The B in this case, the capital B, is pi times H squared, which is 64 pi. I'm going to leave that for right now, and we'll round at the very end. We're going to say that B is 64 pi. The height is times 3. And we're going to punch this into Desmos. 64 pi times 3. So 64 pi, just type in pi, times 3. 603.1857, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, which is this 8. The 5 after it makes it go 603.19. 603.19 cubic units. So save that rounding until the very end, and you can type this into Desmos. All right, the last one we got to kind of work backwards now. The volume of a cylinder, the total volume is 80 pi cubic centimeters, and the diameter is 8 centimeters. Find the height. So we know volume for a cylinder is capital B times H, but more specifically, we know we can change the B because the area of the base will always be pi r squared times the height. And then we're going to fill in the information that they give us. The volume is 80 pi equals the radius squared. Well, they tell me the diameter is 8, which implies the radius is 4. If the radius is 4, that makes this part 16 pi times the height. If the radius is 4, that means the area of the circle is pi r squared, or 16 pi. If we want to figure out the height, we have to get h by itself, or divide by 16 pi. Divide by 16 pi. Or h equals 80 pi over 16 pi. We're going to go back to Desmos and type that in as a fraction to see what do we get. 80 pi divided by 16 pi. So I want a fraction. 80 pi divided by 16 pi is 5. Our height will be 5. What's the unit in this one? Well, the volume was cubic centimeters. The diameter is centimeters, so the height would also have to be the same unit, or 5 centimeters. All right, that's all about finding volume of cylinders. If you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out. Otherwise, until next time, everyone, stay safe.